Hey everyone, it's Caleb. I'm going to do a video today on PvP. So this is my current formation. Basically what I want to show you is the importance of managers and how I maneuver around people in the pre-loading screen. So right now you can see my team ability is 13,505. Now, if I go and equip my 3 stat boosting managers, so as a sponsor, I have Lucy, and she is max superb. So she gives power and technique, so plus 30, so plus 60 TA total per person for Lucy. Then I have Gerald, which is power and speed by 30. So that's another 60 TA per player. And then lastly, I have a couple different ones, but I mainly stick with Sailor Selena for another power and technique. She's another Lucy, plus 30 for each. So that's another plus 60 per player. So that's 180 TA per player times 11. That now jumps 1,980 for power, technique, and speed. That is all now applied to my team ability. So just by equipping those 3 managers, I went from 13,505 to 15,485. So when you're talking about almost 2,000 point jump in team ability, just because of power and technique and speed increase by Lucy, Gerald, and Sailor Selena. So now I'm going to go, the other one I do, just because of the change with starting with the ball, I like to be defense when I start. So once again, it's another purchase manager, but if you get a Maid Eve, I like equipping her so that way I have an increased chance of not starting with the ball on PvP. That's just the way my formation works. Best, I like getting hit center mid with Metatron, but once again, if yours is different and how you built it, you may want to start with the ball and go from there. So here we go, loading. Okay, so I look at the enemy team. Obviously, this is a one-hit KO formation. They have a Yeon goalkeeper, whole bunch of, Silla Ace, and then a whole bunch of passives, slow down speed, try to steal if it gets to the back line. Cynthia is a global team speed debuff, and then complete reflex mid. Anil, I'm sure, has an ignition catalyst. Yep, so she's going to try to steal from my center mid, and she'll be able to proc twice with super play from her active. And then you've got Elaine, what should we call it, Shura, and then Shanti. So basically with this one, I am going to switch up my formation because there's no purpose in me running a 4-person front when if I lose to it in the mid, then I'm done. As soon as I get it to the front, if I can get an active pass from Nari to Char, I'm going to win the game. So I'm going to change up my formation. And instead of having Balthion in my flex spot as a 4-person front, I want to deal with that 4-person mid. So I'm probably going to lose the speed battle because that Anil is going to be super strong. So I can either try to put somewhat of a tank in there, or if I think I can outrun it and change up speed, put like a Lin Mei in there that can try to forward pass it or get it away right away. Or I may put Narazel in there and risk, her trying to steal it, go from there. So I basically don't need a lane. As soon as I get it to the front, if I can get an active pass from Nari over to her, then I'm good. So I've got to have some better support for my midline and then also my back line. So because it's a Shanti as well, I'm probably going to put Death Queen back in, decrease that incoming damage. I'm going to go ahead and put Lin Mei in the front to buff up reflexes. I'm going to put her as my 4th person in the mid. And then I'll just put Kurel in the front just for damage on that case. So that's how I'm going to switch it up. I'm going to now put Lin Mei in the midline. Because that Anil has Ignition Catalyst, and she's probably going to proc Super Play, I'm going to probably put Belle center mid. I'm going to put Metatron opposite of Victoria if she happens to get it. So if their Metatron starts with the ball, or I may just give it to Duke, because then Duke can just run through Metatron, Lin Mei, 4-person, that should be good, and then Anil opposite of that. Shanti is now going to shoot. I definitely don't want Shu attacking in to a lane. So we'll put that. All right, should be good. So we'll try it and we'll see how that goes. But basically, you want to, when you get to a level where you're continuing, or not continuing to lose, but you start to lose and it's not just given games, you do want to take a look at the opponent's team and then adjust yours accordingly. If you just stay with your cookie cutter formation, you know, some teams are going to be built better than yours, and you're going to lose just because you didn't move one player to the left or to the right once, you know, and keep them the same. So luckily my manager paid off. He started with the ball, so it's going to go to his Metatron, but his Anil has Ignition Catalyst, and it's going to proc Super Play. So hopefully my Bell can tank. Nope, wasn't able to. Freaking Yeon. 129% crit damage. So we'll see if I can last. Luckily, they don't have enough spirit for Elaine to proc her active, but I'm going to get an active pass from the Shura. So we'll see how much damage. At least the Shanti isn't able to use her active. Let's see what Lucian can tank with his active. Okay, so 620, so that should be good. So luckily, I've invested into Shu. I've re-rolled on him to give him Fontas's tissue sample. Oh, if I didn't have that co-op defense, it would have been fine. So hopefully Magnus doesn't suicide into Shanti. Please be good, Magnus. Just pass the ball. Don't be a hero. Dang it. All right, well, at least Death Queen can go. Hopefully she doesn't get wrecked by Shanti. Yep, good on that. Okay, so got it through. Now at least I've got an active pass from Lin Mei. I don't have all three. Oh, gosh, please don't attack Death Queen. So Lin Mei's got the ball. Her active up. Hopefully she passes to Narazel. Nope, she's just going to pass right to Char. So she'll be fine. Young goalkeeper, automatic kill. But there you go. There's one way to deal with those one-hit KO formations is make sure you have those decreased damage totems in the backline so you can survive against whoever their striker is. So if it's a Vitos, you know, Chitosi or Death Queen would be really good. Obviously against Shanti, you know, Death Queen is great. And then Magnus just further decreased damage. You need an exit strategy. So that's my Shu, or if you have a long passer or something to get it out up to your front line or midline, then you should be good. So that is one method to go up against a one-hit KO team. Obviously, the really, really good ones, you really can't do much, especially if they start with the ball and get an active pass. Luckily, that Elaine wasn't able to proc her active. The Shanti didn't get her active, so I was pretty lucky on that one. All right, next one. Looks like it's going to be a reflex battle. So Silk Ace, Dark, and Whirlwind get that increase reflexes. So I'm going to switch back. I'll have Char as a striker against Jin, and then I've got to deal with a Dark front. So I'm not going to do Lucian. He's going to get eaten up by that. So I'll probably switch over. I do have a slightly invested Silla. And so then I'll switch over and I'll have a Sammy Ace. So that way I can have Light and Ardor. I want the most amount of people to benefit from that ace as possible. And then where are you, Chitosi? Okay, so Chitosi is now my anti-dark decreased damage. Sammy is what I'm using to the ace, and also, you know, forward pass and also pass over to Valkyria Beth, who is now my exit strategy to get out of that line. Fine with that front, switch back, and I will have Elaine. I will go back to my Faltheon. And because it's majority Whirlwind, I'm going to go back and put Nari in there. All right, so now here is my Light Ardor team that's going to go up against this Dark Whirlwind team. So obviously, if you don't have too many invested players, you can't switch around your formation like this, you know, too drastically. But don't want to attack in. Okay, so I'll attack in. Perfect for the back line. So Chitosi will absorb. Sammy will then pass, so I don't attack in to the Cerestia because she seems a little bit more stronger than that level 60 Shura. Go through there. So blue, light, dark is what I want to do for the midline. So Duke in, I look at attribute disadvantage. So I want that 10% reflex increase in attack power difference for if I attack into them, or that 25% decrease if they attack into me for the center mid and right mid. And then don't want to attack into the Silk and proc that active. I do care about that Alice. That could be annoying. But it would take quite a few shots if I put Char in the middle with that Durin there. So I'm going to go ahead and leave Char on the outside. And we will have her absorb. Actually, I don't care. I'd rather have her run over. And then Dark. Good. Okay. And then Stones. I probably want to put a either EBM or 1,000 Watchers on Chitosi. which I got to now adjust that because I think Sammy was holding Ignition Catalyst, but then I gave that to someone else. So I'm going to give EBM back to Sammy. And then who was holding? I think Kiki was holding my 1,000 Watcher. Yes, that's great. Stop. Go back. All right, so we're going to unequip 1,000 Watchers from Kiki and give that to Chitosi because I don't want to worry too much about a reflex war, especially with an Alice in that backline. That can get eaten away pretty quickly. And I don't really have other stones on Chitosi. I don't use her that much, so I don't want to worry. Then I'll take the EBM from Lin Mei. Decrease that crit rate for enemies. And increase the damage they receive. All right, so she's holding EBM, 1,000 Watchers, and then I should be fine with my Cilia. Yep. All righty. So now we'll reposition. Just make sure I've got everybody set where I want them. All right, Nari, Dark, attack in, attack killed Kiki, Blue Light Dark, just Tosi to absorb, pass, exit out. All right, looks good. So we'll start this thing and see how it goes. All right, so opponent started with the ball again. So we'll see how fast that Bell is. All right, so Bell's going to wreck me, get through. And let's see. All right, so Cilia starting out was at 1,800. We'll see how much that changes with wonderful Celestia. And then this Ravian is up to 1,800. So first shot, I am down to 600, so she's probably going to steal. Okay, good. Lovely changes to counterattack resistance. All right, build back up some reflex with that Valkyria Beth penetration. So once again, Duke is at 1615 on her penetration. You know, he's now up to 1826, so gotta love that penetrating Valkyria Beth. All right, so Ignition Catalyst, Nari. So she's going to get the ball, get an active pass to Char, active shot on Jin. We'll see how much he can tank for. So he's 134% crit resist. So yeah, I was only at, oh, I already changed. Gonna love the Alice and decreasing that crit rate from the EBM. So I'm not going to crit on this Jin, but luckily my Char is just built for insane amounts of damage. So that's going to be the goal, is see if I can get an Elaine active off or if Balthion can steal. Nope. Okay. So Alice is going to get it. I'm going to decrease. Yeah, so Alice is going to punish my Nari, and she's going to get to the midline. So that's going to suck for losing more reflexes, but oh well. There's 170 to gone. And Duke 1668 down to 1500. So gotta love those Alices. Wow, 3200 reflex Metatron. Not gonna happen. But my Sammy still has full action bar, so she should be able to steal from the Shura. I don't have a full spirit bar to be able to use her active pass or forward pass. So look at a normal. Hopefully she'll attack in, but gosh, 2400. At least that attribute advantage helped out because my Metatron was down to 2400 after that Alice. So back to Char. Once again, normal shot up, co-op defense. Would have had it, but we'll see if I can get one more shot off and end this game. So lots of crit resist, 214% now on this Jin with that Silk active. And then just giving reflex and crit resist for that penetrating Silk. Gotta love it. So let's see. Ravian is up to 1997 reflex. And my Cilia is back up to 1621. So at least that Celestia active is off for now. But still, you never know what can happen. Gotta love that attribute advantage, though. So pass. Probably use her active. Nope, normal pass. It's fine with me. Now Valkyria Beth can build up. Get some more reflex back in that line. So Silla's back up to 1,800. She should pen through again. So Duke, who was down to 1,700 or 1,600, he's now back up to 1,721. So that helps with that penetration as well. And then she'll probably use her active. Perfect. So get that action bar back. Get an active pass from Baltheon. And let's end this game. So yeah, 5,100 damage non-crit. Who needs to crit? All right, next team, Silla Ace. So we'll see what we've got against this one. All right, so we got a Bora striker, complete reflex mid, and we got a Virgil in the back. All righty, so we'll switch back to kind of my standard one. I'm not too worried about the Bora, so let's get back. Okay, that's all good. So we will put Magnus in, decrease that damage, and then Lin May, Shu to get out of there, and Lucian. So there's my standard PvP team. I will put Magnus in front of Bora to be the meat shield. Lin May is just a pass so I don't attack into the Elaine, and then I'll get out through the Silla. And then looking at attributes, so Bell in front of Duke. I will put my Duke in front of the mid. And then Metatron in front of the Silk. I want to kill the Virgil because he's the exit strategy and the team action bar and health recovery. So definitely want to kill that. And then just looking at attribute advantage, Elaine in front of the Magnus, and then Baltheon and Nari in front of the Chitosi. And here we go. All right, 3 for 3 on my opponent starting with the ball. So the manager appears to be working. So luckily it didn't generate any spirit, so no active from Elaine or Silla. We'll get the active on the Bora if my Magnus doesn't suicide himself against her. All right, good. All right, so Bora active. Built up enough. Pretty annoying to deplete all my spirit, but that's the benefit of the Bora. And then Elaine's going to use her active now. So gosh, even though that was a really slow front line, they built up enough for me attacking into the Bora to generate all that spirit. So now I've got Shu, and he's got Fontes' tissue sample. So nice thing is, nope, come on, get over there, is he is up to 55% counterattack resistance. Usually I'll put a Yuri in there as well, or Nerua, or Death Queen, just to get him up to 90, but it's still not bad. All right, so Duke should blast his way through. And unless you have a 2900 reflex Metatron that is co-opted with the Victoria that's there. Good old reflex wars. All right, so we got it to the front. Luckily with Shu and everybody taking a million turns, generate full spirit bars. So I'll have an active pass, active shot from Nari. My goal with the 4-person front is to kill the defender. So as long as the Virgil can die, which with co-op defense, that eliminated that. Then I'd be good. But at least Balthion will take another chunk out of him, and hopefully he'll be low enough that he won't attack into... Well, he still did anyway. So Virgil and Lovely AI, that was a benefit for the opponent, and he attacked in. If you can get it low enough, he would have just passed, and I would have been fine, but oh well. So 2,000 reflex, Magnus, and I've only got 1,500 on my Elaine, so not a good chance of stealing even with that 10% attribute advantage. Nari, hopefully I can take another chunk out. And now he's got full 2, so he can use the Virgil active, which is the one thing I'm nervous about. So hopefully, nope, he's fast enough. So now he's going to use his active, run over my Char, run through to the front, generate insane amounts of spirit for everybody in both lines. It's just, I love Virgil. So now that Bora's building up those TB stacks, so one more shot on that and I'll probably be dead. But we'll see. At least I'll be able to heal from the Elaine attack on my Lin May. Oh, she didn't. Okay, well, that's fine. Forgot she only had 200 hit points. So hopefully Shu will build back up some health and action bar for everybody in the line. Hopefully he attacks against Syl. Okay, good. So even if he dies, I'm not too worried. At least he regenerated the line, but he didn't. Gotta love that counterattack resistance. So the nice thing was my Char was still dead because it had been within 2 minutes from when the Virgil attacked. So luckily, Shu, with him attacking up, he attacked the front line because he needed to revive my Char. So that was perfect. Revived her. She had the highest starting action bar. So then she got to shoot. I killed the Virgil. So hopefully now I can build up Elaine stacks, get an active pass from Balthion to end the game. Or we'll see if that Chitosi revives and then annihilates me. All right, there we go. So the Virgil revived, but at least I'll get an active pass now from wonderful Balthion. See how much damage we can get to Cecilia. So the crit resist on this, especially with that Silk, is just insane. So 122, and I didn't get an active shot with my Char, and that's really the only time I get to crit. You know, I don't build my Char for crit. She is my PvE build, so you know, it's not going to happen too often, but she takes a hit. You know, she's down to 138 crit right now. So the nice thing is Balthion just annihilated Chitosi from trying to steal. Building up, so I've got all my buffs. Elaine has passed twice. So now I just need to get my attack in, and it should be good. So that should take off hopefully half of her hit points. And then I'm just waiting for another where I can use my active on my Char so that way I can actually crit on that Asilia and end the game. But I gotta wait. So 1 more minute on Char. Nari does have her active, so and she does do crit rate. So once again, Asilia is down to 97. And there's my crit for 11,000 for Char. So all right, so there's the semis. We'll see who we're in the finals. All right, so finals, another Silla Ace. So we'll see what team build this guy has. So we've got another Silla. So Silla Ace, probably William of Metatron. Yep, so that's going to be annoying. So once again, we'll put Magnus in front of William. Lin May in front of Elaine, so we pass to Shu, get out that way. We will put Metatron in front of their Choi. And then light blue. Okay, so this is where it gets a little tricky when they've got 2 exit strategies. So definitely level 70 Bell and then Virgil. Bell's just going to run me over anyway. Even if I try to attack her, I'm not going to be able to do much damage with 3 people against that. So I'll keep Char in front of Virgil. I know that whoever's in the mid is going to get run over. So I'll probably, let's see, Chitosi. So We'll switch that over. Dark in front of the Jiho bell. All right. This is not going to be a fun game. Wow, 15-4. This could be a quick game. Well, that's off to a good start. All right, so should get an active pass off from Nari, even into an active shot. Got a little over that 2 bars. So we'll see. Cecilia has 82% crit resist and 77% decreased damage. So I'm not going to do that much damage on this, but my goal is to try to get that Virgil either dead or at least down. So 185, hopefully he's not going to attack into me, but you never know with this AI. All right, so Balthian should kill him. Or I'll just get wrecked by it. 2,000 reflex. Virgil, 40% decreased damage. All right, so at least we're under 5 minutes, so Valkbeth won't get her active off. Does have a full action bar, so we will get Elaine's active. Going to get 1 stack on her passive. Normal pass from Silla, but then that'll be enough for, well, depending on how much spirit. Yep. So Prey Sentence, they'll get an active shot off on this William. So at least Magnus didn't have a faster action bar, so I'd rather have him tank and not kill himself. Hopefully his AI isn't stupid and he can just pass to Shu and I can get out of there. Oh, come on. 261 damage and you're going to attack in? Gosh, I hate this AI. I can't wait for real-time PvP. Oh, that's a game. So dumb. Oh my gosh. Why couldn't he have just killed Magnus? Oh well, it happens. Real-time PvP. Get ready for the hype. All right, so the other thing with a tournament, once you're done with it, make sure that you go home and don't click leave. I did this in one of my earlier videos, but if you equip your gold boosting managers, then it will apply that to your bonus on your PvP reward. So make sure after every tournament, whether you win or then after a loss, go back to your managers. If you have Halloween Eve, Charlotte, and then I think there's another one. There is another paid manager. I don't have her maxed. Who is this? Korean Selena. So if you have Korean Selena and she's maxed, she's also 20%, but I already have a max Charlotte and that's the same. So equip Charlotte and Halloween Eve, then go back into PvP, load the screen, and it will apply it to the gold. So I would take that. So 30,000, I'm going to get 90% increase now, 60% from my managers, 30% from shop. So 30,000 now goes up to 57,700.